Hello. Let's see. Let me make sure I've got everything together here. Okay. Hello. Hello. Let me cut this down here. Yay. I'm so glad that we have a chance to talk with each other. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for doing this with me today. Is it Liyanne?
Liyanne, yeah, that's right.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, I just want to say thank you. And your heart lights art, right? Is that hearts?
Hearts, light, arts. Yeah, I know it's a bit of a tricky one to say. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like hearts, light, arts. Yeah.
Yes. So there's something I want to do, and I hope I can do it. But I
Okay.
I started doing my own research because I like doing the research, and
Good.
I found one of your videos.
Hmm.
And it kind of explains a little bit. So I want to show that video. It's about 4 minutes long. But when I show it, it explains so much. And then we can go into the discussion about it because it's amazing. But first of all, can I just say what you've done is amazing? But let me just see if I can get that really quick. And then I'll show that because it's incredible what you've done. It's just incredible.
I
So
love that this is the way you're going about things, Adrienne.
really, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I really just try to stay just me. Here we go. Here we go. I found this and I was like, oh, this is amazing. So we're gonna just start from the beginning here. This is her site on YouTube, and we're just gonna play this and I'm gonna make it full so they can see the whole thing. Here we go, and I'll take that off there. There we go. I just want to say we call what this is a Merkaba. I love that. The above below. Amazing. That's so beautiful. That is so beautiful. And I just wanted to share that with everybody because I could sit here and have you try to describe it, right, without showing them visually, but nothing can compare to that, that whole vibe. So, like, first of all, the idea that you took like your astrology chart, your astrology numbers, and created that art, where did that idea come from? My gosh, that's incredible. Oh my gosh.
I always say it came through me. So obviously I have a part in co-creating it, but the the download, it was a download, it was a progressive download over about a period of a year. So what you saw there in the video, uh, that's where it ended up. It started as more lines, wavy lines, right? As opposed to, I then realized I needed to do in the shape of a light wave, right? So, for those of you who are astrologically literate, you'll know what an aspect is, right? So when you look at your astrological chart, you look at that bunch of lines in the middle, right? Which for me, that is the transmission lines between all those points and planets in your chart. That's the energy speaking and having a conversation, right? So I took those aspects and I've got a previous life. I was an analyst, so I took those lines,
Wow.
did them in the shape of a light wave, and then I thought there must be like colors that go with these, right? And then I did my research and I decided I was going to use Pythagoras's attributions for the planets. So Mars is red, you know, Pluto being the higher octave of Mars. I subscribe to that notion
Yes.
that because the modern planets weren't dealt with when Pythagoras was around.
Right.
So Pluto being the higher octave of Mars, I use red for Pluto as well, and so on. Right. So this is kind of like a Venus-ish and Neptune color, like it's a bluey purple.
Yeah.
It's a bit more purple than the Venus Neptune color. And because it's Venus's day today, that's why I'm wearing
Oh,
this color.
ah.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, this is just amazing. I mean, just genius. Because when I saw that, like my brain exploded because I read what you wrote. It
Yeah.
just didn't tell me it when I saw star soul light, and I
Yeah.
thought, wow,
Yeah.
um, star soul light digital soul portraits. And then
Yeah.
I started looking deeper and I'm thinking, what? So when I found that on YouTube, I just about flipped. Like that's truly like our star soul, like that's really a digital
Exactly.
soul portrait.
Yeah. And the
Crazy.
reason it is because the way we perceive light here on Earth is as colors.
Yes.
So what I'm doing is painting light when I'm putting these together. And when I put them together, they're as much a surprise to me as they are to the person that receives it, because, it's actually coming into being as I'm creating it. I have no idea what's going to be at the end of it when I start,
When you
right?
look at these, are you finding that some of them are vastly different than others, or are they
Yeah,
really?
totally, totally, totally. Because the energetic signature of every moment,
Yeah,
snapshot of every moment
we all
has
have
a different
like a different.
energetic vibration and a different signature. Just like you and me are completely different
Yeah,
because we have and there's lots of similarities as well,
yeah.
right? There'll be stuff that vibrates and resonates, but there is stuff that'll be completely our own unique makeup of those energies and vibrations. So every single one is different, just like a fingerprint,
Wow.
right?
That's amazing. That's amazing. I, well, first I want to ask you another question.
Mm.
the astrology part, the fact that you know your astrology chart. Tell me, are you an astrologer? How long have you been doing that, or how do you know about it?
Golly, golly.
Ah,
Okay,
of course, I
good
was
question.
going to
Good,
go there.
good. Yeah, I knew you were going to go there because guess what? I bought this and put it
Yes,
next to me,
yes,
right?
that's my favorite book of all time. I
Because I
swear,
thought, I bet she's going to ask me. I bet she's going to ask me what got me onto
oh my
astrology.
gosh, that's one of my favorite books. I slept with that book. I swear, I love.
Right, right. So this is like you can
Yes,
even see that it's old, right? So Linda Goodman, in my late teens, early 20s, I discovered Linda Goodman, right? And this, for those of you who aren't familiar with the book, it says star signs, but oh my God, this is
it's so
so
much
much
more.
more
That's
than
got
that.
all the
This is,
numerology in it. Oh,
oh
it's
my
so
God, yeah,
beautiful. It's just like
exactly.
spiritual soup. It's just feeds your
It is.
soul. It's beautiful.
100%,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah,
It's full of esoteric wisdom, right?
wonderful.
So that was in my, you know, 17-ish, about 17, I discovered Linda Goodman. Then, I went and lived life, right? I kind of put it down, went and lived life, and then had a cancer diagnosis in 2015, which, as they call the dark night of the soul, that was my version of the dark night of the soul. And P.S., I went the completely natural route. I live with cancer, right? I still have a tumor in my breast and I live with cancer. I've not had chemo, radiation, surgery, or drugs,
Oh
right?
my gosh, can I
I've,
say something? First of all,
yeah,
I applaud you for that. You're a hero.
thank
But
you.
I lost my mother in 2007.
Oh,
I,
sorry, love.
my heart said, do not give her any chemo. Someone called up, I don't know if it's my brother who died. Anyway, they said it was okay. And because I had power of attorney, and they listened to someone else and gave her chemo, and she died. I think we started her on Tuesday, Saturday night, she died. She was
Oh,
too old.
oh, love, I'm sorry.
Right.
Sorry.
So I want to applaud you for being strong, for being a warrior, for fighting that. You look wonderful, and you know,
Thank you for that.
such a
Can
beautiful.
I just say that it's so just very quickly, because we could go off on a huge
Yeah,
tangent
yeah,
on this. I'm
yeah.
going to bring us back really quickly, but I just want to say very quickly it's not to do, so I feel that people like your mum or anyone that goes through the chemo journey is actually the warrior, because that is effing, right? Can't swear, can I? It's effing hard, right?
I
It's
can't even
so
imagine.
hard,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, my approach was purely, I'm a qualified project manager, right? As part of project management, you do risk management as part of your training. So when I did the risk assessment on the treatments I was being offered, I was going, nah, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It doesn't make any sense to treat something that is cancer with something that causes cancer,
Mhm,
right?
mhm,
So logically, it just doesn't make any sense. So I approached it a bit like my star soul lights. I approached it with my analytical brain and came out of it and like, no, I have to find another way. Completely overhauled my diet, my lifestyle, came out of the high stress job. Project management is really high stress, right? And then, followed the whispers of my soul, right? Because I'm an artist at heart, always have been, but was in very very technical work.
mhm.
Yeah, so that's a kind of a sidetrack. So, got the cancer diagnosis, big kick up the backside, right? Right, what are you doing? Right, this isn't you're not living your life on purpose, right? So then where did I go to? I thought, oh, because part of cancer is like, they say it's not just, physical. It's like there's usually an underlying metaphysical reason, and getting in touch with your soul. And like I heard all of this stuff and I'm going, oh my God, but how? How do I, figure this one out, right? Because it's not a brain analysis thing. It's a feeling, it's a heart, it's, breaking your heart open and getting into the soul of yourself, right? So back to this, right? I picked this up because I always kept a copy of this because I am originally from New Zealand and
Mhm.
then I emigrated to London and lived there for 23 years. So
Ah,
I'm as much a Londoner as I am a New Zealander.
ah.
And when I moved there, obviously I didn't take all my books with me, but when I moved there, I bought another copy of this,
I love
right?
it.
So I still had a copy of this with me. So I opened it up and I actually started with numerology,
Oh, I
right?
love that part. Yes, yes.
Right. And then the numerology led me to astrology. And then I started listening to, I have no clue how or why, but these things get put in your path, right? There was one episode from Molly McCord,
Mm.
right? Intuitive astrology. And I tuned into her episode on YouTube and I'm like, wow, this is really making sense. Then I discovered Pam Gregory.
Ah,
Then I discovered the Astrology Hub. And, as they say, the rest is history. So that was around about 2018 to 2019 is when I was going from, the numerology and into the astrology. So I would say I'm an astrologist, as distinct from an astrologer, because I don't have a professional qualification. However, I do know my aspects and my aspect patterns, and
that's
therefore the astrology as a result of that. Does
yeah.
that make sense?
It does. It does.
Yeah.
And as someone, I've been astrologer for, well, I started studying over 40 years ago.
Oh, wow. Get
40,
out of here. You're not that old.
I'll be 61. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my days, really? Wow.
I love astrology.
Me too.
I literally ate it and slept it. By the time I was 70,
Yeah,
I was already professionally selling my services. So it's amazing.
right. Well, I got back here, October, and already, and when you move back halfway across the world, you have to be very, very um,
Mm.
brutal with what you decide you're going to move halfway across the world because it costs a lot of money. Well, I have two bookcases full of astrology
Oh
books
my
because I
God.
was not
I
I
love,
was not going to leave them behind.
I love that.
Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Oh, it just
40 years.
it makes me think about a story when I was much younger. Um, 21, I moved to Alaska. And it made me think about that because it's such a long move. I lived in New Jersey, had to move to Alaska. And though I had brought all these books with me because astrology books, to me, they're gold, platinum even. And at that time, I was thinking I was going to be a Jehovah Witness. I don't know why. And they made me burn my astrology books. I'll never forget that because I had such a great collection. I mean, I do now, and I've got hundreds of books still, but not those books. Some of those probably first edition. I mean, I that was back
Yeah.
in the 80s. So it like sometimes I still think about that, like my books. So I understand why you made your books a priority, even when you moved across the world. I just want to know I
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
valuable. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, they really are. So much knowledge in those books, and we go back to them. Like I even now, and after 30 some years, I still go back and look at star signs to get whatever it is I'm thinking, oh wait, let me check this again. And that just shows how a good book, especially if it's filled with knowledge, it
Yeah.
sticks with you forever. Like that wisdom
Absolutely.
there,
Yeah.
it's is one of the reasons I think I still do what I do. I feel like there's something I can impart because there's probably some young 16-year-old now who's looking at it who might find something I say as something that will lead them to the wisdom that where they're leaded supposed to go. So that's to
Yeah,
me.
because it's a tool. It's a tool, isn't it? It's a tool for life. It's a tool for you to really deeply get to know yourself and also, I guess, yourself in the world. It's not just, internal, it's also an internal, external. And as you said, the Merkaba, Yes. As above, so below. That is actually what I've applied in my work, is that hermetic principle of correspondence.
Mm,
As above, so below, as within, so without.
mm.
Everything is, that's quantum theory in a nutshell, really, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
And just getting into that place where you feel that when you're at one with that.
Mm.
I'm also a sacred soul alignment healer, and so we actually meditate and get into that Merkaba and feel that energy as it flows around us, and that is such a pleasant energy. Like it, I can't even put it into words. It actually just feels like it's replenishing you. So there's a few meditations where we get into that space and that pink light, and then we just have the inside of that Merkaba, and we can feel like we're protected even inside of there.
I'm getting a visceral reaction while you're talking.
Oh my gosh. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Sometimes I'm a little woo. And so I think when I saw your your creations, it made me realize that yes, I've always thought this, our charts are vibrating to a certain energy, a certain frequency. We each have a dialed in frequency. And it's all about us getting onto that path, onto that frequency. And when we dial it in, oh my gosh, that's when the magic happens. But sometimes we get off it, we're to the left, to the right, we don't get on it. But it's just like knowing that there's an actual frequency that is us.
Yeah, yeah. So the what you saw there, so I have been tuning in to my own set. So there's six of them, right? Because that represents our multi-dimensional soul, right? Because we're multi-dimensional beings, right? So this is like six dimensions. The first is as I said, the Alma Core, which is your eternal soul. Then you have your creative force. Then you have your spiritual power. Then you have your intellect as distinct from your intuition. And then you have your earth soul, right? So every one of those has a separate um, soul light, and the way they are divided up is, again, getting into the astrology, is metaphysical aspects versus physical aspects, i.e., the Ptolemaic aspects, and then also whether they are colored in the planetary colors or in the zodiacal colors. So for the zodiacal colors, I use the color wheel.
Mhm.
Okay, because again, that's how we organize light here on Earth. We use a color wheel, right? So that's what I use for the zodiac wheel.
I love it. I
Yeah.
love And I noticed too, like you use different patterns, like with the communication, it was more lines than
Yes, sorry, yes. So the reason for that, I'm glad you
I
mentioned that
noticed all of
because
that. I noticed it all.
yeah, the reason for that, and that was when I was developing this over a period of about a year, right? From around the beginning of 2020 to the end of 2020 is really when all of this came through. And the last pieces got developed from a book called The Bowl of Light by Hank Vesselman.
Wow.
Now, Hank Vesselman, in that book, it's being used as a communication tool for Halealohalani
Mm,
Makua, who is a kahuna from Hawaii who has passed on now,
mm,
and he wanted to pass on kahuna wisdom to someone that was able to get it out into the world. So the actual six dimensions and that aspect of it really was inspired by and came from me reading that book. So there's equal parts astrology and ancient South Pacific spiritual wisdom.
yes, because there were words I wasn't familiar with, but I understood. I could, because I practiced something similar, but it
Mhm.
was just beautiful how you put it together. And now I understand now.
Yeah.
It's amazing that you put those two together.
Yeah. Well, so my own roots are South Pacific also, you know. We call it Moana Nui, Moana, oh my gosh, Moana Nui Akiwa, right? You know, like it's like mm, peoples of the waters of the South Pacific because the waters connect us all, right?
Mhm.
And actually, the cosmic waters connect us all, regardless of, you know, what your DNA has in it.
It's true. It's true. Wow, that's amazing. Amazing. And I just love I wanted to one of the questions I have was
Mhm.
how do we get it? Because I was looking to see a website and I saw several s- popped up that seemed like similar names, but it didn't seem like it was you. How would anyone, can you let people know how they could go about getting one of these for themselves? Because I want to get one and I'm sure others
Great.
want to get one.
Woohoo. Okay. So I am, I've only just set up my website and I'm tinkering with it.
Okay.
Okay. So I've only got a landing page on there.
Okay.
And I have my email, which is heartslightarts@gmail.com, where people can get hold of me. And if you're wanting a star soul light made for you, yeah, just get in touch. And what I prefer to do is actually get on a Zoom discovery call so I can understand what it is the person is looking for. And what I will say in terms of cost, it can be anywhere from, so for if there's just like a pattern that you want me to bring out, that's like, that's the lowest cost is that's 111 US dollars, okay? And then the cost is typically around about what you would spend on a 90-minute astrology reading. But instead of getting an astrology reading, you're getting a piece of personalized art and a meditation mandala, right? So, you know, when you were talking about when you meditate, wow, love, this is like your
Yes.
personal light vehicle to meditate on
So
and
we'll get
with.
like a video that we can watch.
Yeah.
Yes. I-
Yeah, I do like a 3-minute video that you can watch and use. I mean, you can even use it on your phone, you
Oh,
know,
I love that. That's beautiful.
right? Yeah. And you also have the choice of it being an artwork.
Yes.
So a digital piece of art that you can then go and get printed in real life, right? So you can have a physical um, thing on the wall,
Yeah, I love that
or
too.
you can get it on a t-shirt. I mean, you can do whatever you
Many
want with it,
things.
right? On a mug.
That. Now, I had asked if you had an affiliate program. I didn't, I guess you haven't gotten that far yet. But I want to
No.
talk to you about the business of things because I'm a double Capricorn.
Yeah.
So, I'm always got my
Good. Good.
I'm always,
Nothing's ever an accident. I was supposed to meet you, right?
yes. My mind is always like, hey, I just happen to know some people when you said about websites. I'm working on a project where it's not actually a website, but it's a mobile sale web page. So
Mhm.
it's actually better in a way than a website because you can use it, people can get to it easy on mobile and it's ready. Anyway, I'll talk to you about that off camera.
Fantastic.
But there's so
Fantastic.
many different
Please.
things.
Yeah. Awesome.
I can also
Awesome.
I want to help promote your product because this is incredible. It's just unique. And I feel like with the right spirits hearing about it, they're going to be like, oh yeah, I want one of those.
I feel
So
so emotional. Thank you. I feel so seen after so long not feeling seen. I mean, you know, that video, if you look at the when I uploaded it, I think it was like 2021 I
oh, I didn't
uploaded
even
that.
realize that. Oh,
Yeah.
see, you just need a promoter like me out there. That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Me and my mouth. I'll just because that is incredible. I like am gushing over it. Like really, I will share it with as many people as I can. But yeah. Oh, and that reminds me, I'll give you links, but I've got like my gregarious1.com. I'll put it there. I've got my websites. There's so many ways we can promote you. And I would love to
Oh,
be a part
thank you,
of
love.
whatever that takes to get the word out because the creativity of that, like just to put them together and to create such a beautiful imagery. It's lovely. It really is. Speaks to your spirit. It really does. So let me ask you this. If you could expand what you're doing now, and have you had any plans on creating anything more with this, like um, getting the how we can, because I'm trying to think of how we're going to get the word out for you already. What have you what have you had in mind for expanding and getting more eyes on what you're doing? Because this is incredible. It really is.
So I need to walk and then run, and then what I want to do flying. My vision for flying is to have a light school and teach others how to make these and become star soul light
Yes, your own modality.
warriors, I guess.
Own
Yeah,
modality. You've created a new
yeah.
modality. Let's
Yeah.
face it, that's what you've done. That is absolutely beautiful. And you'll we've got to talk because I want you to, on the side, I haven't even done it yet. It's in the background. I had this thing I wanted to create called Astronumerland, which is a combination of all the astrology, numerology, all these other things. And I thought, wouldn't this be something to add to that? Everyone gets this, when they
You can see my face, right? It's because
yeah.
like the numerology is the other part of it that I haven't spoken about, right? So Tesla's 369 code, God's fingerprint, right?
I've been studying the
Then, oh, awesome. So you'll know what I'm talking about. You know, the color palette that I use, that I developed, the color formulas are all set to a 369. So the color formulas themselves, the numbers compute
manifestation
to 3, 6, or 9. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Liyanne, we're definitely
There are layers. There are layers.
oh my God, I love it. It's so funny. I made a post because I had another girl from our master class who scheduled
Yeah,
right before you. And I had made
right.
a post right before her appointment. And I thanked Michelle and posted on my profile on Facebook. But it's funny, like what she went through and wasn't sure she was even going to hold it. And then we all got there and it wasn't even a big class. I was in her huge one last year. That was like 300 or something. And when I saw it was really small, I was like, wow, there's only like 10, 15 of us here. But I feel like we were all meant to meet each other.
Right. Right.
We were all in that mastermind for a reason. And
Right.
I feel like I connected for real with some real people and who are on the same path that I don't know how Michelle did it, but she just put us together like we're all on a similar path. And it's just beautiful because I feel like it's the support we each need to help us get to
Right.
that next step on our journey. So
Mhm.
it's such a pleasure. I just am so happy that you were here. And also, yeah, I wanted to say, I didn't know if you had anything you wanted to say, because this is kind of a short little interview for me, but I wanted to say one of the things I do with my guests is I usually ask or guess their astrology signs.
Oh, awesome.
So
Yes,
been,
please.
I have been subtly checking you out, trying to figure out what your astrology. That's why I've been hesitating, like, it's throwing me off. It's the blue. It's the blue because that blue is giving off Pisces and Aquarius, so I'm lost on that. But I also am getting like a strong, um, either Virgo or Scorpio. So can you tell me, or Capricorn? Tell me what you might be.
Okay. And I have like a little, I just wanted to say I do have a poem to share that's a poem about my work very quickly, if I may, at the
Yes,
end. Okay.
definitely. Yes.
So to put you out of your misery, I am a double Aquarian.
Ah,
I'm Aquarian sun, Aquarian
wasn't
rising.
I said Aquarius first?
Yeah, yeah. Aquarian sun, Aquarian rising. But what's interesting, right, is that I'm in a Pisces solar return year,
Oh my gosh, I love
right?
that. You just give
And
off that.
not only that, my Mars is in Scorpio and very, very activated at the moment.
Oh my gosh, it's just the aura is oh, that's amazing.
So ding, 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 yes to
I
all of them.
love it. Wow, wow. And you know what? Thursday is a Uranus day. It's the day of Uranus. And the girl who was here before you, I kid you not, was an Aquarius. And I
Right,
got Aquarius intercepted in my first house. So Aquarius day.
right. Well, Uranus is my most aspected planet.
Oh, wow. This
Yeah.
is where that creativity is coming from. You
Mm.
know, you're,
Well, my exalted Venus might have something to do
well,
with it too. She's in Pisces, 27
oh,
degrees.
wow, all that
Yeah.
creativity. You know, I always say that Uranus, the creativity that comes from Uranus is a whole different kind of creativity. It's
Yeah, it's the little magician with the thunderbolts that fall
yes,
out of his knapsack, right? So I think of Saturn because
incredible.
obviously I've had to figure this out for myself
Yeah.
because I'm double whammy Aquarius, right? So Saturn, right? You know, Saturn, Father Time, he feels to me like a really old, wise Gandalf, right? Kind of magician, right? And then Uranus to me is like the young apprentice that's, you know, super keen and a bit, you know, a bit like this, you
Yes,
know,
yes,
and like I say, drops the thunderbolts out of his magic sack at times,
I love
right?
that.
That's how I see them.
That's funny. I never stopped to think about the dropping thunderbolts. There's
Yeah,
definitely thunderbolts, right? Well, you're right.
right.
Definitely there.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
yeah.
Oh, well, see now Pluto then he must be dark and foreboding, whatever he is. Like
I
Pluto.
love Pluto. I'm gonna stick up for Pluto. Pluto is very much my sponsor planet
Oh
for
wow.
my work, for my work.
Mm,
He is my what he she because I
right,
feel that it's a he she,
right. It
right?
is.
It's not a he, it's a
Very
he she.
universal, very universal planet.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, Pluto's been the sponsor of my work, which I only just realized and cognited this year.
Wow.
Like, oh, okay, you're my sponsor. I get it now.
Change and regeneration. It's amazing and growing. You know what I love about Pluto, and not enough people talk about it. It's the whole growing from the ashes. It's from coming from nothing into something, growing
Yeah.
into your power.
Yeah,
And
it's that whole butterfly, right? Being
oh,
broken down into nothing but mush, right? You're not even a something while you're in that cocoon and it's all broken down. And that's the process I have been through. You know, I've been reduced to, you know, my essence and then having to build it up again because, you know, cancer will do that for you.
and you're about to step into your power. Pluto is in that first house stone coming in, at the end of this month. So once it gets into Aquarius, finally, after all this time, I mean, it's been going through your solar 12th house. So that's why you went through so much. My God.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
glad.
and you know, if you look at it from Placidus as opposed to whole sign, he's still or he she is still going through there. But I've got to a point where I don't I feel like I have a really good relationship with Pluto.
That's wonderful.
And
That's
I actually
huge.
hold a Pluto, I facilitate a Pluto group. Like there's
Oh,
like a
wow.
sisterhood. Yeah, for nearly 2 years now. We'll be celebrating our second year on in March. So I hold space, right? I don't use the word leader. I hold space, right? For our sisterhood to come together. There's only six of us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and we were meeting every 2 weeks. We're now going to be meeting every 4 weeks. But yeah,
I love.
so I feel like that has had like contributed to honoring Pluto appropriately.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
It's so much power in Pluto and it's been so overlooked. And as an astrologer, I have taken affront to them calling it a planetoid. But and
Who cares?
it's just the abuse of acknowledging the power that
Oh
exists
yeah.
in that tiny platitude. Like,
Mhm.
don't take it for granted. Don't let it
No,
get in. It is
no,
power. It packs a powerful punch. And I think
totally.
people forget that the destruction that can come by not paying attention to Pluto is, you can't recover
Mm,
from it. It's really bad.
yeah, yeah.
So,
You've got to work with it. You really don't have a choice.
I've been studying a lot because, I've got Aquarius intercept at my first house, and Pluto has been going through my first house. So I was once
Ah,
500 pounds. I mentioned it a lot. And I've lost over the course of 8, 9 years about 300 pounds. I've yo-yoed, but I've just recently lost 60 more pounds. So I'm back in the fight, trying to get down to whatever end quote normal is. But I have a really big first house because it has Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces in it. And it just made me big.
wow.
Yeah. And in Eastern astrology, I'm a double Sagittarius, which makes you big. And so I feel, yeah, that's been,
You know what? You know what's funny is I can totally relate to what you're saying, right? Because of my solar return, because it's Pisces, and then I've got Jupiter bang on the ascendant, conjunct, right?
ooh,
Neptune is also in the first house. So
oh,
this year I've put on so much weight compared to
yes,
what I was before. But what I'm doing
unconscious
is like
eating.
there's no point me trying to fight it. What all I can do is eat as healthily as possible. And my waistline, like I say, it has expanded this year. Bless you, Jupiter. I'm not blaming it all on you, but the energies are not right for trying to, be disciplined. The energies are just not there for that.
The good
So,
thing is it's only there for 1 year. So that's the one good thing about the transits of Jupiter.
right, right, right.
I just got through that. I had gained, I don't even like to talk about it. It's embarrassing because I don't like to talk about my weight, but I had gotten up to over 300 pounds again.
Well, you know what? I take my hat off to you because it may not seem it, but I struggled with weight most of my life. It's only when I got cancer that I managed to get my weight under control because I didn't have any choice. Because if you're gonna be healthy, then you need to
Yeah,
you have to, you know, keep your weight under control because obesity is the second leading cause of cancer,
yeah.
right?
Wow.
And I was, so at my heaviest, I was just over 100. What, why does this not sound right? 100 kilograms. Yeah,
It's
it
because
is right. It is
kilograms are
right.
different than pounds, or pounds are different.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to,
Yeah.
I don't know how to convert
So I'm
that.
trying to remember
A
what the
lot.
conversion is in stone.
Let me
Um,
see what that is in pounds.
Anyway,
100 kilo
it's
equals
heavy.
pounds. Okay, let me just see. This is amazing when we're from different country. Oh,
It's heavy.
220 pounds. That's about where I'm almost at now.
There you go.
Yeah. But for me,
Mm.
after coming down from such a large number, 220 is not bad. But when
Exactly.
you're coming
Exactly.
up
That's
to
what I'm saying.
220,
I take my hat off to you
yeah,
because I understand
yeah.
the the mm, I don't want to use the word struggle because
It's
words
a
have power.
struggle.
I understand the challenge. I understand the challenge
Yeah.
of weight and keeping it under, in resonance and under control.
Oh,
Yeah.
definitely. And I think each person struggle, has their own individual struggles. I was born with Jupiter in Pisces in the second house,
Oh, right. Yeah.
house. So it was just like big, 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 big,
I
big
feel you. I feel you. 100%. I feel you.
food and Taurus, food, food, food. Venus in the 10th house, give me food, give me food.
No wonder I didn't meet you before now because I
Yeah,
probably wouldn't have been able to relate as much as I can now because this year has taught me what that means.
that Jupiter, man, when it's in its own home, though, in the second house of like, and then
Yeah.
your moon's in Taurus, it's just food. It was always food. And so
Mm.
I've been managing that. My daughter had gotten big. She had surgery, and she's kept it off. She's beautiful. My mother was big. She was over 350 pounds. My grandmother was over 250 pounds. I just come from a stock of big women, but I wanted to break whatever that horrible 500-pound curse was. because my brother was over 400 pounds. He died of a heart attack. It was just, it's something
Yeah.
that's really been in my family. And
It
so
is.
I'm shedding that.
It's what I call a slow motion disaster. And the reason I call it that is because, my own people, Samoan people and other little nations in the South Pacific, we are winning the race of being the most obese people per head of population on the planet. So much so that, they have had to change the coffin sizes because the people are so massive.
Wow.
Now, this is not fat shaming or anything. I'm coming from a pure health and mortality perspective, right? And that's why I'm saying it's a slow motion disaster because our people are eating themselves to death,
It's a shame.
you know?
And you feel so much better once you lose the weight. Like just the fact
Yeah.
that when you said a lot of people don't think I'm 60, but it's because I dance. I originally lost, that 300 pounds from dance.
Yeah. No wonder we get on. I dance too.
Okay, every
As in, I
day.
love
I
dancing.
love dancing. Like one of my favorite songs is Raya Solar from Swedish House Mafia because it just takes you into an instant rave. So if you just want to just rave out, like and it just starts bringing up the sweat. I love dancing because there is no age in dancing. If you could still get the spirit up to dance, if your body still lets you dance, then for goodness sakes, get up and dance because
Well,
one day you might not be able to. So I'm going to enjoy every moment I can.
totally. I mean, this is why, I went night clubbing like a lot, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
during my, teens, 20s, 30s, 40s. I was in I worked hard and boy, I partied hard.
yeah,
And I love dancing.
yeah.
Love it.
I had
Yeah.
a friend in when I lived in Alaska, and she was a Cancer and I'm a Capricorn, so it's crazy, right? But she could not go one weekend without going out. Like I remember her calling me in tears, like we gotta go out. Like it had to. We had to go
Had
out.
to, yeah, she had to exercise her dancing, right? She had to do it. Yeah, I completely
This is
get that. Yeah.
hilarious. Some people they just have to
Yeah.
be out there. I've slowed down. I dance a lot, but just to myself now. I'm because I'm older. But I just love that. Any opportunity you can get to get out and dance and party and go to a concert or whatever it is, just do that. It makes your spirit feel so good. It really does.
It totally does. And actually, there's something else we'll talk about probably one to one once we've finished the episode about music and astrology and learning astrology through music. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I've never thought about that. Is there anything you
Yes.
can say before we end this about astrology through music? Is there anything you would like to share
Uh,
with the audience?
so I'm in another group. Yeah, I'm in another group that I also co-host. So there's two of us that hold the space, and we got together as a group, and I call us the soul songsters, right? So we went round our chart, right, starting with the sun, and we went all the way out to the Kuiper Belt objects because we didn't want to stop meeting, right? And we chose a song for each planet and point in our chart and shared with each other the reasons we chose the song, and we shared the song.
I love that.
So I now have expanded my musical, vocabulary as a result of it. And also, I've learned my own astrology so much deeper because I've had to go and find a song for each planet,
I
right? So,
love
my sun, for example, my sun in Aquarius is Space Oddity by David Bowie.
I love it. I love it. That's perfect for
Ground control to Major
Major Tom.
Tom.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
that's my sun,
I love that.
right?
Our Aquarius
Yeah.
has
So,
that's amazing.
right? Yeah. So um, we are looking to put an offering together, um, that is to bring that into the world where people can learn their astrology through group experience, right? And sharing music,
Oh, we definitely have to talk.
sharing your soul through
Yeah,
sharing.
that is
I told you, I told
beautiful.
you.
Oh my God, my heart. I love that. That is so perfect. I mean, because you're curious with
Right.
Pisces in your first house too, right? Didn't you say you have both? Yeah.
So Pisces is in my second
Oh,
house.
okay.
Pisces is in my first house this year for my solar
Oh,
return.
gotcha. Okay. Because I've got Aquarius intercepted in my first house with Pisces on the cusp of the second and then in my second. So we have a very
Right.
similar, we're flowing here. I can
Mm.
feel the flow.
Mm.
It's funny. Oh
Yeah, yeah,
my
right.
gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay.
Astrology in action, us two.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, because I want to talk to you off camera. We're going to put on some music because I like the music out. And I want to thank everybody.
Can I do my poem
Oh
first,
my
very
gosh, we
quickly?
almost
It's
forgot
not
your
that
poem.
long.
Yes, go ahead,
Yeah.
do your poem.
Okay, so this is about Star Soul Light. I wrote this to accompany Star Soul Light. So here we go. Everything is light, vibrating, including you and me. Light is seen as color, dwarfed by the invisible light we cannot see. The ancestors called it the Va'a, Vaha, and Wa. Active relational space in between, connecting us to all that is, will be, and has been. Human, 99% water. Both us and water are ancient stuff from stars. Water holds memory. We are self filling jars. A rainbow is water, vibrating light. Remember your rainbow. You are star, soul light. A painting of light patterns made by the stars reveals the energetic beauty you are. Watery eyes, a lens, gaze upon and reflect. Remember, remember your vibration, no more forget. The time has come, star soul light from above, to burn pure, shine bright, your true living color, so full of love.
Beautiful. I love that. Wow, you wrote that. That's beautiful. Wow, that touched my soul. Thank you so much, Liam. Thank you so much for being my guest today. And thank you for sharing your wonderful new modalities with us because I just feel like your Aquarius sun is here to change the world with your unique and brilliant ideas. It's just emanating from you, it's oozing from you. And so I'm
And
just,
I want to say thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for inviting me. And thank you for seeing me. Thank you. I'm just as grateful.
oh, thank you. Okay, so we're going to dance on out and then we're going to
Yes,
talk.
please.
Yes. Let's go ahead and I just let me see what I got here. Let's see what comes on. Here we go. I like this song. Let's see. It's real relaxing. Oh, let me cut the music up here. There we go. And it's not going. Wait, let me see what's going on with the music. Where are you, music? Okay. Whoa, I put it up too loud. Oh. I didn't mean to make it so loud. That was so loud. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Leah. Love it. Much love, everybody. I'll see you soon. Bye.